Hi guys, welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel. If you're joining us here for the first time, you're highly welcome. So on today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys how to draft a basic corset pattern as you can see on your screen. We have so many types of corset pattern. We have the two-part corset, we also have the three-part corset, and again the Victoria corsets. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to draft our basic corset pattern for today's video. Then in our subsequent tutorials, we're going to be learning other corset patterns like I mentioned earlier. So if that's what you might be interested in, keep watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click on notification bell to get notified whenever a new video is being posted, okay? So stay tuned as we dive right into the video. So these are the items I'll be working with. So I have my corset cup or my bra cup. While getting a bra cup for your corset, if your bust is 40, make sure you get an additional 2 inch more. If it's 40, you go for 42, 40, 43, 44, depends on, but make sure it's not that 40 exact. It shouldn't be your exact corset pattern. Then I have the main fabric I'll be working with, my ruler, my tape, and my brown paper I'll be drafting on before transferring it on the main fabric. So we start by folding our material into two. Did I just say material? We start by folding our pattern paper into two and I just minus 6. This shouldn't be a new thing for you guys anymore unless you're joining us here for the first time, so you got to learn. Just watch closely and see what I'm doing in this video. So I minused my 6 inches. The next thing I'll be placing down is to get my bust point measurement. I'm going to mark on my exact bust point measurement. I first of all marked my half length measurement. The first marking I did there was my half length measurement. Then now I'm marking my bust point measurement and my under bust measurement. I marked on my exact bust point measurement and my under bust measurement. I didn't go down by any inch. I didn't go down by half an inch or 1 inch. I marked on my exact measurement, except for my half length that I went down by an inch. Like if my half length is 18, I added an inch allowance, making it 19. But for my bust, under bust, I marked on the exact measurement I had. So what I did here now is to go in by 1 inch. I don't want to go in by half an inch. Going in by 1 inch is on a fold. When you open it up, is on two. It becomes it will become 2 inches. But I don't want to go in by half an inch. When I open it up, it becomes one, and after sewing to be so tiny that I don't like that, at least not for this video. So I went in by 1 inch and I'll be marking the line straight down to my half length. I marked it first to my chest line, that is the beginning part of my dress of my pattern, down to the half length. So now the next thing we'll be doing is to introduce our corset cup, which is this. We'll just place it on top. We'll start placing it from where I marked my 1 inch inside. That's where I'll place it on. Can you see it's not at the outer part of that 1 inch? Like it didn't exceed that 1 inch line we marked. Then I'll place it like that, and then my corset will be under my under bust. It will be placed directly under my under bust, which is, it is covering my bust point and then it's sitting directly under my under bust, under the under bust. That's where your corset will sit. Then after that, see what I'm doing right now? I'm using my pen to mark these things round, to mark my corset round. I used my pen to mark it round. Then after marking this round, I'm not going to cut exactly on my markings of the corset. I'm going to come in by half an inch to cut it. Reason is because if you cut at the exact part of that corset, when you start sewing, it widens up, it opens, it becomes more wider, it becomes more bigger than your actual under bust measurement. So you come in by half an inch to cut it, to mark it again before cutting. You come out by half an inch at the inner part of that circumference, that corset part, before cutting it out. You make your cuttings on that half inch you came in with. That's what I'm doing, like this. So I'm trying to make sure that my lines are they are in check, they are in place, they are well marked. That's the second step, right? So now the next step I'll be doing is to place this back, my corset cup, and start inserting my measurements. I'm placing my corset cup back to insert my bust measurement, half length measurement, and bust measurements, my under bust and my waist measurements, which are now divided into four. Your measurements are divided into four when cutting. So I placed my tape again at my beginning where I marked my 1 inch from where my marking starts. That's where I placed my tape to get my bust measurements. Remember, this is a basic corset pattern. This is a basic and the simplest part of cutting corset pattern. This is the basic corset pattern, the simplest part in cutting your corset, and this is for beginners. We are just getting started. So what I'm inserting right now is my waist measurement. After inserting my waist measurement, I added my 2-inch allowance for my sewing. So what I'm doing, I'm connecting my lines, my waist line measurement to the bust measurement, to my bust measurement. Then after connecting it, I started cutting my pattern, which I'm cutting from the half-inch inner part of my corset cup. Now I'm cutting my waist part and then the sides of my pattern. After cutting, as a beginner, you don't need to be scared that it's short. That as far as you're working with your exact measurement, don't panic. This is how it will look like. It might be looking too small, too somehow. Just make sure you're with your exact measurements. Don't panic. Work with what you're getting as far as you're with your exact measurements. So I'm cutting the back. I just came in by 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So the simplest way again on how to do this is just to take your front part, place it on the back to cut out your back part. If you also want, you can just take measurements of your back part. If you don't want to place your front part on it, good and fine. You can do it whichever way you want to do it. So now this is the main fabric I'll be working with, or I'll be working on. I had to fold it. I placed my pattern on it. Remember my pattern, I've added my allowance, everything I need to add to it has been added already. So I'm not adding any extra allowance to the main fabric because all my allowance needed has been added. So cutting it right now as you can see. So this is it. I'll also cut out the back part on the main fabric. The back part of this dress, I'll also cut it out now. And this is what I'm doing. So after this, I'll be cutting the down part of the half length. The down part of the half length, I'll be cutting it out. So the white chalk you're seeing there is my starting line for the down part, which I minus my half length. I minus my half length from there. This is my starting line. I minus my half length. Then I'll be inserting my waistline measurement. My waist measurement, sorry. I'll be inserting my waist measurement with my additional 2 inch, 1.5 inch thereabouts sewing allowance. Then I had to put my tape down to measure 9 inches, to go down by 9 inch, so that I will get my hip measurement. Mind you that this 9 inch I came down with, it varies by the person's height. Most times you can go down by 8 inch. You can even, in most cases as well, you can go down by 10 inch to get the person's hip. So it varies on how to get the hip of the person. It varies by height, and I think by height, yeah. So at this point I was done inserting my measurement, my waistline measurement, and my hip measurement, and I had to just cut it out. Then the depth of that skirt, the length of the down part, I think I went down by 11 inches, which I'm still going to give it a slant cut, because it's not, well, if you watch the beginning part of this video, you should understand what I'm trying to say. At this point, I'm giving it a slant cut because it's not meant to be all straight. So I measured my length, the length of the down part. I'll open it up like this. This is just how to sew this style. I'll open it up like this, and I just used my chalk to mark my desired length, you know, to mark my desired length in a slant pattern. Then I went up again at this point because I felt that didn't really go high the way I wanted it, that side. So when I got what I wanted, I went straight to cut it out. After cutting it out, I will just place this to cut out my back part, the back part of the material. While cutting the back, after cutting the back, in fact, before you cut this slant form, make sure you've cut out the back so you won't make a mistake. Then you place it together and cut out this slant form, so that you won't have the other slant facing the opposite side. Like, I don't know how to explain this right now. You won't have this side now facing where it's not supposed to face. I don't know if you get. So this is the back part. I've also gone ahead to cut it. But if you want to cut it like this, first of all, cut out the front and the back part together. Then you place it and cut it out in this slant form, so you won't make a mistake of this down part going to the upper part and the upper part going to the down part. I don't know if you get. Okay, so this is what we'll be using to cover our corset cup. So as you can see, my material is on fold. The material you're seeing over there is on fold. I'll have to fold it again. You fold it just how the way you fold your peplum. The way you fold a peplum, that's how you fold it and cut. The normal way of folding a peplum or a flare skirt, that's how you fold this and cut. The only difference there is the measurements. The only difference is the measurement, like the length. The only difference is the length. Yeah. I have to fold it again so you understand what I'm saying. You see it is on fold. So I placed my tape at the tip of the dress, at the tip of the material, and then I think I went down by 8 inches, or you can go down by 7 or 9, depends on how um big your corset cup is, and also to be on a safer part, make it bigger. Yeah, make it bigger so it will be able to cover your corset. It's better you have excess of it, you cut it out, than not having enough to work with. So this is it. Should be looking like this in a circle form, a bit circular form, I don't know. So I'll be cutting out two of that, which I just did. So see, it's still on fold. This is still on fold. At this part, I came down by 1 inch. At this part, I came down by 1 inch. I'll just take the line straight up to the tip of that dress because I want it to be in a slant form. I want it to be in a slant form and in two piece. I want it to be in a slant form and in two piece. I don't want to have just a round cover to this. I want a two-piece cover for this corset. So next thing I'll do is just to place this on top of the second one to cut out the exact thing I just did here. In case after cutting you notice that your line is not really giving like this, I also went ahead to recut it to make sure it's giving me what I want. So I'll sew it like this, down, and sew it again down. That's how I'll sew it. It's either you start from the other end or start from the other end, from this end to the other end, or from that end to whichever way you want to do it. And remember, whatever you cut, make sure you cut out the lining. So this is this pepper gum I'll be using on this. I'll use the rough side of the pepper gum, which is this part I'm showing you. It's rough and this is the soft part. So this rough side will be on the inner part of this material, the back part of this material. Then you use your hot iron to gum it, to gum it. The rough side has the gum. that I use and gum it. So after doing that, I went ahead to sew it just comme ça, just like this. And after sewing it, I notched it though. I notched and ironed. I notched and ironed. So now I also use my paper gum on the main fabric of this material. I'll be attaching my lining to the down to my corset part, that is this down part, my half length area. I sewed that place, turned it and top stitched on it. After top stitching on it, I went ahead to sew the both sides. I sewed the both sides of this lining. I sewed it down here and also the other side, and I flipped it over to the right side. And I also went ahead to impute my dart at the center part of my corset cutting. And if you notice, it made my cup size smaller, which is okay, which is very 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 okay. Yeah, so this is it. You might be asking how to get your dart on this. Just your normal way of getting your dart, put it on fold. Your normal way of getting your dart, put it on fold and attach it there. That is, put your material on fold, mark your 4.5, and then attach it there. So I'll sew this right here, but before sewing it or after sewing it, I'm going to show you guys how I was able to do this. It is easy. I want to say it's very easy, but it is easy. As a beginner, it is. So before sewing it, this is what I did. I first of all, I gave my corset a dart. That inner sewing I did. Then I placed my corset cup on my breast ball and then used this hemming gum on it. I placed this hemming gum all through this corset cup. I placed my hemming gum because this hemming gum will help me um gum my cover up my corset cup. It will help me to cover it up smoothly. It will help me cover it up smoothly. Look at it, it's all over the corset cup. But while sewing, while doing all this, make sure you don't over press your corset. Don't over iron it so that it won't flatten. Don't over iron it. Don't go and start pouring water on it so that the corset cup won't be too flat. So this is the what the hemming gum helped me to do. Just sticked on it helped the material to be on to just gum I don't know, on the corset. So this is it. As you can see, the material is way bigger than the cup, which is very very okay. It is big, we know, you can see. You cut it out, cut out the excess parts. After cutting out the excess parts, you then sew it round, sew on it round, just like this. I was holding my camera on one hand and sewing on the other. So that's why I was just trying to so I won't over sew. That is, it won't enter the wrong place. The stitches won't go to the wrong place. So this is it at the end of the day, at the end of the whole stuff. So this is how it came out looking. So now the next step we'll be taking is to use our lining. Yeah, we'll be introducing our lining to this. There are, anyway, as time goes on, because this is just the easiest one on corsets and for beginners also. If not, there are ways you can also sew this corset directly after attaching it to the main fabric. You use your lining to cover up everything. But this is for beginners and this is what we're doing for today. So after attaching your lining to this, you will top stitch on the lining. Top stitch on the lining so that this lining place won't be coming out on the corset. It will be neatly placed. Top stitch on it. Use your hemming gum again. Put it inside and iron it. Just make sure it's like, while ironing on your lining, you press it like this and iron it very well with the help of your hemming gum. Make sure it's placed inside the corset, within this area, inside here. Use this hemming gum in it. Place your hemming gum round there. Then use your iron to iron it. And while ironing, make sure your lining is not visible at the top of this corset. Make sure the lining is inside. That's the essence of the hemming gum you're making use of. See how it's looking? Can you see? Can you see it? Hope you guys are learning something from this. The next thing I'll do now is to sew around here and also cut off the excess part of the lining. Sew round, cut off the excess part of the lining. I'll be making this video again before moving to the next corset and type we have. I'll be making this video again before moving to the next corset type. So this is it. After everything, I attached it on. The next video I'll be doing, I'll show you in details how to attach this to your main fabric, how you'll be able to attach this to your main fabric. I was already running out of storage because my phone storage is not that much anymore. So I'll be closing up my side seam, adding my zip, my sleeves, and the down part of this dress. So this is my sleeve. And then the down part of the dress, I have already gone ahead to pleat it. You know, to gather it is a gather there, not pleating. So that is all for this video. This is my zip, the zip I'll be using for the dress. So that's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If this is if you want more of this, try to like, share and subscribe. Click on notification bell to get notified whenever a new video is being posted. Okay, all right, bye. Have a nice weekend ahead of you and happy Easter. Bye guys.